As of recent, the government has made it a law that people recognize this form of abuse because it takes form in a way that is very manipulative and controlling. So coercive abuse is not always physical either, because most people recognize physical, emotional, mental. Hi guys, hi everyone, welcome to my channel. It's me, Ogechi. Welcome. Hello everyone, hi guys, welcome to my channel. It's me, Ogechi. Welcome, you're welcome to my channel. So for this video, I am quite excited to talk about it because it's something that I've always wanted to talk about for such a long time. So I am excited about this video. Well, not excited in the terms of like, oh yeah, let's celebrate, but excited in that I've been able to have inspiration to sit down and do a video for you guys. Well, thank you for all my new subscribers that have subscribed. If you're new to this channel and you don't really know what it's about, because I find that many people subscribe through the food videos that I've done. My channel is called Talkinsen, and in my channel I talk. Yes, I do food, but I've been doing a lot of reflecting lately, that I've decided to make changes to this channel. So from now on, this particular channel, Talkinsen, will be all about talking, and I'll be talking mostly on social issues. And I'm going to create a different channel for religious issues, because I've come to understand that mixing the two kind of throw people off. Whilst I understand what I'm doing, it's important for our audience to understand the vision of each channel. So I'm going to keep each separate. Social issues will be all just general topics. Anyways, you can also link with religious issues or religious life, but most of them will be here, and the religious part will be another channel. However, I've created a food video, my cooking video, yay, and I've uploaded 1 or 2 videos. What I was thinking is taking all the food videos I've done on this channel to upload there. So please, if you don't mind, you can kindly go to those channels and the food video one and subscribe. I also have another channel that I'm calling Dailyliving for the Not So Rich, and in this particular one I am simply going to be doing practical tips and advice, general anything seriously on it. So anywho's, welcome to Talkinsen. So for this video, I'll be sharing with you about the different forms of abuse that women and men experience in relationship of any sort. This could be friendship, and it also could be relationship in regards to sacrament of marriage. What prompted this video is that I was watching a movie. I can't remember the title of that movie, but I'll put the link below, and it showcased how men experience abuse from their wife. And then for such a long time also, I've been doing a lot of reflecting, especially in the cases of abuse and things like that. And the 2 big stories that often come into my mind is the Mel B story. Mel B is one of the Spice Girls members, and the Scary Spice, that's her name. And she came out years ago to say that she has been experiencing domestic abuse in her own home, and this came in the form of coercive abuse or coerced abuse. And I've never heard this form of abuse before, and that really prompted me to look more into it. And she's written a book about it, and in all honesty, I will totally listen to her book on audio, because I don't think I want to buy the I don't think I would like to buy the hard copy book, but she's got it on audio as well that you can listen to Audible. Okay, so you can download her videos. So coercive abuse is one of the type of abuse I'm going to focus on this channel or on this blog. Sorry, I'm just trying to find you what coercive abuse looks like. And it has become a law, because this is the form of abuse that many people that is not obviously recognized. And if you listen to the different forms of abuse that you hear when you're doing your like safeguarding training or any form of training, coercive abuse doesn't come into it. But as of recent, the government has made it a law that people recognize this form of abuse, because it takes form in a way that is very manipulative and controlling. So coercive abuse is not always physical either, because most people recognize physical, emotional, mental, well, coercive abuse is actually a form of mental abuse as well, financial and other forms of abuse, including neglect. Neglect is also another form of abuse. However, coercive abuse is the one that many people have not come to recognize. Now, I'm going to use these people's story that have come out to say that they have been abused in their relationship, and that one is Mel B, obviously. And then another one is Tiwa Savage, who is a Nigerian singer, and Tonto Dike, who is a Nigerian actress and a philanthropist. She did one songs or released an album, I can't remember what she did, but she did a song back in the day, and it was a bit quite popular when she released it. But we are not looking at their career, rather looking at the issues that they have brought to the public setting in regards to their abuse. So let's start. So I sat down and listened again to Tiwa Savage story about her abuse, and there are things, this video is not going to be biased at all. I'm so unbiased when it comes to these issues. This is not just men and women experiencing these things. These things happen to men as well. The problem is that they don't come out to talk about these issues, because there are families where the female is the very dominant character and the one that is the abuser. But because men are made to feel ashamed of bringing issues like this to the forefront, then it's kept in quietness. Watching this movie that I told you about, it really showcased some of these things. And actually, I'll do the favor of finding the video, as it's very, very, very interesting, and it showcases how women, through their own manipulative characters, also abuse men and take them for granted. This, well, from the channel I watched it, is called African Nollywood, and it's called How a Poor Dirty Village Cook Attracted a Billionaire. But that's a lie. They use different stupid titles to title things nowadays, but I'll put it down below anyways, you can watch it. The title doesn't reflect exactly what happened. So let's begin to talk about these women and their issues. So I'm going to begin with Tiwa Savage. Tiwa Savage, as I mentioned, is a Nigerian singer who married to someone who is her manager. If I can remember, she said his real name is Ibrahim, but he goes by the name, is it TZ or TJ or something like that. I can't remember the husband's name that much. I was more focused on her story. But what she experienced in her marriage is actually very telling of what many people experience, because most of the time I find that many people ignore the signs. You can always know the signs of what happens in an abusive relationship before you even get into it. The only thing is that many people choose to close their eyes and be blindsided to one particular story or scene that they want to see of a person. So according to Tiwa Savage, she said that she covered a lot of hurt in her relationship, which includes cheating, lies, the stinginess of the man as well. She also incurred not only she didn't incur physical abuse, but she incurred emotional, mental, we can put both together, abuse, and then financial abuse, as well as neglect. And neglect wasn't just on her, but on her son as well, because the man wasn't providing for the son. Some of the things that she said also, she said that happened was that the man that she married had a very flashy lifestyle, and also a very stingy man towards her and her child, because she had to afford everything that he spends. How do I put it? She pays for everything that he chooses to buy. Okay, that is a sign of financial abuse. In my video, which I will put the link below, on where I talked about signs what men and women that you should avoid, I mentioned one particular one, which is Mrs. Independent or Miss Independent. The reason why I mentioned that is because I come to realize many people do not understand that once you open your mouth and be claiming independence, or feel like you're rich enough to be buying things for another guy, especially a man, you open yourself to a whole lot of abuse. Someone I know told me like he's going to give 1,000 to the family or something like that, and this person has none. I said to him, why are you giving 1,000? You're only opening a door to say that you are rich. Once you give someone that impression that you can feed them, you can afford them, you open the door to exploitation. I'm not saying don't help. I have a friend who did the same thing. The person never paid them back. I'm like, I think she gave, let's say she gave about, how exaggerated it would be, about 4,000 to this guy that she was going out, her boyfriend. And you only find this out when all has been said and done, because they wouldn't tell you. That's one thing, they wouldn't tell you. I'll continue. So this is the key things that she said she covered in the relationship. Cheating, because the guy numerously cheated on her. Lies, negative portrayals, stinginess of the man, feeding the man, financial inability of the man to provide for the family, and even if he has, he doesn't use it on the family. Brokenness, insecurities, protecting the insecurities of the guy or the husband. Selfishness of the man, buying things that she herself don't even buy. So the man will go out and spend as much as he wishes to and don't even bring it home. Things that she herself is not enjoying, and the man goes ahead to borrow money that he can't afford to pay back, which then comes on how to pay. She had to pay the bills and everything. You can go watch her story on Pulse TV on YouTube. She just opened up about a lot of things. Not everything we know, because there are some things that may have to be kept secret, but she opened up a lot of things. And then one of the things that she mentioned is that this person is a very manipulative person and didn't do her role as a breadwinner. This is exactly the same thing that I mentioned. When you take yourself in the position of a breadwinner for a family, as a female, you are putting yourself in the position of financial exploitation as well as mental abuse, because for you to find yourself in that position, it just means to me that the person that you're married to or in a relationship with has taken a step back, okay, or there is something wrong somewhere. And one of the key things that she mentioned is that this person lived a very lavish lifestyle. And one of the things again she mentioned is that he is very manipulative in terms of accusing her, laying false accusations on her when they have issues, calling her names and things like that. Has her doesn't listen, has a stubborn spirit as well. And another thing that she covered, which is actually quite surprising to her and to us, that he also was into illegal drug like cocaine, and she found out very early in her marriage, but she kept quiet and didn't do anything because she wanted things to work out and paid her loyalty card. Now the reason why I decided to slay all these things is because I've come to realize that sometimes we do not know the people that we think we do know, because then they make use of your weaknesses. Obviously, she was in love with him, I can imagine, and this is why she decided to cover. And plus, now she has a child for him, she also wants to cover for the person. The most important thing that I'll advise in this whole thing is do not cover up for someone's shortfalls, especially if it's the ones that needs to be known. The selfishness and stinginess one is the one I mentioned in my people not marry. When someone is stingy or more, take your run. And when I mean stingy, you can find people that lavishes money on other people, but they wouldn't do that on you. You can find people that even gives to help other people, but wouldn't bring it home. When you like, if someone is generous to others and not generous to you, that's a good telltale sign that this is not going to work out in terms of relationship. Okay. Anyways, I don't know much about marriage because I am not married, neither am I in a relationship. But I do know enough and I've observed enough in my life to realize that there are so many things that women do to contribute to these issues, and this is the idea of taking the position that another person is meant to fulfill. Don't take that position. If you, this whole thing about, oh, we split bills, split this and split, I'm like, no. Do you know? Okay, I look over this story. I had a friend. When she said go, the same friend I told you that borrowed someone 4,000, gave someone 4,000, right? When she started dating this person, it was split. Oh, don't worry, I'll pay for this one. Don't worry, I'll pay for that one. Don't worry, I'll do this. Don't worry, I'll do that. I was like, hi, it is fine for you to help and support someone that because they're not earning as much as you, or they're not earning at the present. But encourage them to do things for themselves. And you know, these people, when they are so manipulative, like, you may think they care, they'll buy you that one dress that you've been looking for. You're like, oh my gosh, see, my husband bought this for me. You'll be flashing to that one thing, or they bought you one makeup thing that you've been looking for. You're like, oh, this person bought for you, you're showing it off. It may be that one thing that you see that person has bought you since you started that relationship. And then they'll go back on that thing every single time. Remember when I bought you this? You mean I haven't done anything for you? A dress that they bought you 2004, they still want you to be rejoicing in it in 2019. This is one of the things that we need to learn as females. Please, domestic abuse is something that is frowned upon and should be frowned upon. But it is important to realize that the same goes either way, both for the male and for the female. Now, I'll describe what coercive abuse is because I've mentioned it a lot. Coercive abuse is a control act and very manipulative through the pattern of acts of insults, threats, humiliation, intimidation, or abuse that is used to control, abuse that is used to harm someone, punish the person, or frighten their victim. Now, I'll focus on this area of humiliation, and this is the area that the person that is the abuser holds their victim very tightly. if you have something that that person knows that you are shameful of that you've done, and they feel like if they tell it to this person, they will have, like, if you tell it to the world, you'll be looked at in a very negative light. They'll hold that against you and they will use it every single time people have argument. They may be like, another way is like, do you want me to report you to your mother? Especially if you know that your parents are very strict and will not allow what is happening. That kind of childish behavior was when you were young. Your mom would be like, I'll beat you now. Or someone will say, I'll do this, I'll do. See that passive aggression? They will use that every single time to control you as a person. And it's almost like you're being treated as a child. You are controlled as well as about your movement. I'll give you an example. Because I was researching these things, I realized it's not just, it doesn't just happen to anyone, it happens to everyone. There's no particular group that this thing happens to. If you notice from Tiwa Savage, Mel B, and Tonto Dike, they have different personalities. Tonto Dike and Mel B have similar characters in that they are outspoken, loud, and out there, and they will challenge you and do those things. But yet, this happened to them. Does that make sense? This happened, and then Tiwa Savage is more on the quiet side that doesn't speak much. Yet, she's probably the type you say the good girl type, but still that happened to her. So there is nothing like a particular victim. That person that you think that is bold and shouting and this and that, that could be there could be victim. You also find the male that is similar in these situations. They are also victims. Okay, so this is the controlling behavior that is designated to a person, and it starts with the idea of isolating. The first thing that your coercive abuser will do is isolate you. And this is how they do it. They isolate you by, first of all, telling you your friends are not your real friends, especially if you know they have been your good friends, or they are not supporting your marriage with that person, or they are simply not in support of whatever is happening in that relationship. So they'll start telling you your family are bad as well. This is different areas, and start making things, putting things in between you and your friends and your family to distance you from them, that you start seeing them in a very negative light. That is one way of isolating you. Another one is like, you feel like they are being overprotective. You're like, oh, they care so much for me, they wouldn't let you go anywhere. Oh, they love me so much. Screw that. They don't. They are isolating you from the world. Because when you are isolated from others, you actually don't get to speak out, and you also don't get to hear other people's advice. The only thing that you'll be looking at is the advice in your own head. So they make you dependent on them as well. You know, it's not that because you are dependent, they are probably dependent on you, but they twist it around. Especially these people are good liars as well. Oh, please bear that in mind. They will twist it around to make it that you are the one that is dependent on them. Like, for example, Tiwa Savage, everything that Tiwa Savage said anyways happened with Tonto Dike. Tonto Dike's one is that she decided to pay for her wedding. Sorry. She decided to pay for her marriage in the hope of getting money back. Seriously, stop it. Another way another person does that is that they'll tell you, oh, pay for this, don't worry, I'll pay you back. I'll look after you. Omo. I'm not laughing because it's funny, but I'm laughing because this is something that I've come to realize that people fall victim every single time. For me, they'll borrow money from you and be like, you know how I talked about my friend, I'll pay you back. When it comes to that pay my back time, they wouldn't pay you back. They'll give you stories, and they will use the position of, I'm in a relationship with you, I should be having access to your money. No. See that thing that they say, your money is my money? That is a lie. Your money is your money. My money is my money. The only time your money becomes my money is 1, if you are married. 2, if you made an agreement that you will share. 3, if you're contributing to that income in one way or the other. If you're going to be a stay-at-home wife, you also should be contributing to whatever, to helping your husband succeed. 3, if I give you access to my money. Does that make sense? You are contributing in some way or the other. It doesn't have to be financial contribution, but you're helping the hustle progress, if you understand. So please, that money, my money is your money. We should be. I understand that when I'm in marriage, but I don't think in any relationship that you are in that is not marriage based. My money is my money, your money is your money. Stop playing relationship and stop playing marriage. Marriage is not a child's play, okay? exploiting you and driving them into the independence. So another thing that they said, this is from the Women's Aid, which Mel B is actually using and partnered with when releasing her book, is that they exploiting them, they deprive you of independency and regulate everywhere and your behavior. So I know this story of a person that she will go to work every single time and bring the money home, or even ask family members and borrow, and the husband will be the one telling her go and work whilst he stays and do little at home, and then after bringing the money back home, use it and gallivant elsewhere and use it on other people, or other women to be precise, and then come back home not feeding the family. See, this is why I say your money is your money. The only time money comes together is if that money is being used for the family. Okay, this is the same thing that happened with possibly Tonto Dike and also Mel B and Tiwa Savage, because they were thinking they were contributing to the family, but they weren't. And control is that they determine where you go, who you speak to, what you eat, when you eat. Okay, this coercive abuse is the abuse that hasn't been covered a lot. Okay, and if I must say, please, if you find yourself in that situation, speak out. Tonto Dike, her story is that the way she meant. You see, the funny thing about these people is that they meet them in vulnerable states. Tiwa Savage is different. Tonto Dike and Mel B's story is similar in that they met their husbands in vulnerable states where they were vulnerable. In terms of Tonto Dike, says she broke up with her boyfriend then and was sad and then met this one. So they use emotional manipulation. These people seek you out. That's what Mel B said. They seek you out because you are not the one looking for them most of the time. They see your vulnerability. People can read you. People can read your vulnerability without even speaking. And Mel B said that she just had a child and found herself in that vulnerable state where she probably is seeking for love. So this is my thing. These people will seek you out. Sometimes you're not the one that's going to find them. They'll find you out because they are so good at reading you. Omo, go and watch that my video. See Mr. Potential, Mr. I'm going to help you, Mr. No, if you can't help, say you can't help. Like, I'll give you an example. You borrow money, say I'm going to pay back. Pay back. Like, for me, the same thing happens with families. For me, just be careful. Read about forms of abuse that take place in relationship. Put them in your mind, in your heart. Put them at the back of your heart, so that when you recognize patterns like this, you will start having to do something about it and speak to someone about it. I mentioned Women's Aid. In UK, you can speak to them. Family members, don't be fearful of judgment. This is one thing that you see, when these people are like this, it's the devil manipulating. Don't be fearful of judgment. Speak out. If you're a man, speak out. In cases of men, women often do the controlling part where they stop feeding them, or especially if you're the one that cooks in the house, they stop feeding them, stop doing house chores or doing things for them. That's another way of manipulative control. So please observe those things, okay? Or they just reject intimacy in relationship. Please do me a favor. Learn about coercive abuse. It will really help you. And if I'm you can download Mel B's story and read about it, because what happened to her is not a joke. It's not even something to be laughed about. It's not something that anyone expected. Considering her personality, this is one thing. Don't let people's personality fool you that they cannot be bullied or they cannot be manipulated or controlled. Tiwa Savage is very quiet and knows how to present herself. Tonto Dike, on the other hand, is wild, and this then makes it difficult for people to believe her story. And the same way with Mel B, in that because she's wild and has her thing and scary spies and all those things, people find it. I mean, when I first heard it, I was like, who can bully Mel B in this world or the world to come? Little did I know that regardless of your personality, you can fall victim to all these forms of abuse. Physical, coercive abuse, emotional abuse, neglect is another one which is not spoken to about in family the most, and I think it's about time people start speaking about this. Neglect is not just neglecting your children's responsibilities, also neglecting husband and wife's responsibilities. So I'll end this video by saying, let's say no to coercive abuse, and also try hard to start recognizing these things, but don't use it to ruin your own relationship when maybe it's not what is happening. But study the patterns, because the patterns are often similar. It just doesn't change. It's like gravity. It doesn't change. The patterns are similar. So please, thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, share with someone else. Spread the word about coercive abuse. It comes into financial abuse, physical abuse. It's very controlling and very subtle manipulative characters, because people start with subtle before it increases. Please, if you have a friend like that, watch out for them. Look out for them. To be honest, they may push you away. This is one of the most difficult things about helping people like this, is that unless they tell you, don't go and rush and say it. You might speak it in a very subtle way. Just throw it in there and see how they react to it, if you observe this is what is happening to them. But in most cases, I find that it's often best that if they come to you for help, because then that's when they will listen and realize what is been happening. And if they seek out for your help, please throw your open arms to them. And then welcome them. Throw your open arms to them if they seek out for you, and welcome them in and seek for support for them. Alright, thank you for watching. Take care, and please don't forget to check out my other channels that I'm trying to start, and subscribe if you wish to subscribe. Like this video and share with other people. Save it in your playlist so that I can remind yourself, because I will do the same for myself, so I can remind myself this video if anything should happen in the future. Alright, take care. Bye.